Hey there, welcome back to my studio. I'm Mary Gilkerson, and you are joining me here today for day 4 of the Artwork Living 5-Day Painting Challenge. Welcome, welcome everyone. So when was the last time you thought about rewarding yourself? We are so good at rewarding others, saying thank you, great job, well done, atta girl, atta boy. We are not so good at rewarding ourselves. And as we work on developing the painting habit and closing that habit loop, the most important part of that loop is what comes at the end. It's that reward. The reward is what links the cues, the routines together to form that habit. No reward, no habit. It's not gonna stick. So it's super, super important to reward yourself. Rewards work on all kinds of levels, but they dig deep into the part of our brain that likes pleasure and runs away from pain and frustration. So if you want to make painting a pleasure and something that you look forward to, make that habit an easy thing to form, you have to come up with some rewards. Not rewards for even next month or next year, but rewards for this week. Those rewards need to be tangible, they need to be real, and they need to be pretty immediate. And they need to be applied consistently. So remember, part of developing that habit is having consistency and showing up over and over and over again. And when you apply a reward to the end of that loop, you're going to be golden. So think about the inner dialogue that we have with ourselves. And some of you, I know I've talked with you about this before. Our inner dialogue tends to be one that tears us down. Our inner dialogue tends to be one that says, ooh, that looks awful. Or how could I have done that? Oh, nobody's going to want to look at this. Those are not helpful. Those are negative in their impact on your developing the habit. You don't want to do those things. You want to instead create that loop that has a positive response. What's more likely to get a positive response from other people? Think about that. Treat yourself the same way. If you're training your dog, your horse, your pet, your 5-year-old, do you tell them that you're going to beat them if they don't do what you want? I know some people do, but I've trained animals and I've raised a child, and I know for a fact that doesn't work long term. Fear is not a good motivator. It's good in the immediate, when we're really frightened by something that is a danger to our lives. That's what fear is there for in our psyches. It is not good long term. Fear causes a rush of adrenaline that drowns out all of that flow state that we're trying to create. So that's why I want you to think about a positive reward rather than a negative punishment. So feeding the positive is not just a warm and fuzzy, it is a psychological fact. We perform better when we're rewarded positively. So the habit loop again. Cues first, stack them to create a routine, add in a reward, and you're going to have that habit on a solid foundation. So what are some of the kind of things that you could use as a reward? Rewards need to be positive, and that cycle then forms that positive feedback loop that tells your brain, gee, this was fun, this felt good, I want to do it again. So you can use things like verbal rewards. Try telling yourself what works in the thing that you just did that day. So that's why reflection is an important part of it, and why when we're doing critiques in my courses and in my membership, we always start with a critique sandwich so that you look at what's working first and then look at what needs to be improved. Not what doesn't work, but what needs to be improved. And then end again on what works. When you create that positive critique sandwich, wonderful things happen. If you reverse the order, horrible things happen, and people lay down their brushes, lay down their knives, and they don't ever work again. So how many of y'all have ever been in a painting class or an art class where the critique didn't go like that, where the critique was all about making the person doing the critique look good, feel good, and powerful? Doesn't work long term. And over again, I've talked to students who quit painting because of something like that. That's not productive. What we're talking about is creating a really productive painting habit. So I want you to, even when you're talking to yourself, use the critique sandwich. Start off with 3 things that work really well. You can find 3 things that work really well in any painting. I swear, I've been painting and teaching for more than 30 years, and I haven't seen a painting yet that I couldn't find 3 things that work. So start with those 3 things that work, then look at 1 or 2 things that need to be improved upon. And there's a reason why I only go to 1 or 2. And then wrap up with another thing that works well. The reason you don't want to find more than 1 or 2 things that need to be improved is that changing 1 or 2 things in a painting changes the whole painting. So you don't want to go too far down the road of a long list of things that need to be fixed, because fixing 1 or 2 things can make a profound difference in a painting. So that's 3 things that work, 1 or 2 things that don't work, and finish it up with something else that works. When you talk to yourself that way, you'll find that it's a lot easier to come back the next day, even after a frustrating painting day, and find some place to start that is easy, fixable, and doable. So that's a super important part of the painting habit. So you can think about that dialogue you have with yourself as being one of the rewards. So I want everybody to start speaking to themselves in a little bit different way than I know a lot of you do, because I see what you write underneath your paintings and your comments as you're posting those over in Artwork Living. Be kinder to yourselves and you'll make better work. I swear and promise. So second thing that I want you to think about doing that is a reward is to focus on the practice, not the product. I know that's counterintuitive, but the more you practice, the better your product is going to be. So don't get so focused on making a single perfect painting. Instead, focus on that process, that habit that we've been working on developing over the course of the week. Super important idea. Process over product. That is the key to good painting. It's one of the keys. We're going to talk about the other keys tomorrow, but process over product is the best way to start setting yourself up for then being able to handle the rest of the painter's framework. So third thing is to match the reward to the activity. So saying you're going to buy yourself a new iPhone if you complete the 5-day painting challenge, probably not going to work. It's great to have a new iPhone, but that's not going to improve your paintings any. You want to match the reward to the activity. So if you buy yourself a new paintbrush, a new paint knife, some wonderful new panels that you have been coveting and haven't indulged in yet, something that excites you, that is going to click in your brain as a reward a whole lot more than that iPhone. iPhone more expensive, it's not a better reward. So think of some of the things that you can reward yourself with. Like I've said before, one of my favorite ways to reward myself is to go to the art supply store and gaze upon that whole rack of paint and select a color that I would not normally paint with. Something that excites me and floats my boat because it's new and different. That then rewards what I've just done, and it triggers off my creativity and imagination. So it becomes another step in the path on getting me excited about painting. It is all about building that kind of energy and creative energy behind what you're doing. Super, super important to do. So again, those three things are to use verbal rewards. I want y'all to use the critique sandwich with yourselves. Be a whole lot kinder. Better to leave the negative thing off, the thing to work on off, than to layer a whole list of things that are doing wrong. So work on that critique sandwich. Think of it as a mini reflection on what you've done. It becomes a very strong part of that reward process. So reward yourself verbally. Then number 2 was to focus on the practice, not the product. And number 3 was match the reward to the activity. So if you've got ideas for how you're going to reward yourself, and it better not be buying an iPhone, let me know. Leave those in the comments. I'd love to see what you're thinking about rewarding yourself with while you're working on the challenge. If you haven't started the challenge yet, it is not too late. We're on day 4 for those who started on Monday, but you can start at any point this month. The link to join the challenge is in the description of this video up above. So hop up there and you'll find that link if you'd like to join us on the challenge. Now I have something special for tomorrow. I hinted at this a little bit yesterday, but tomorrow we're going to have a full-length masterclass workshop. So tomorrow, it's not just going to be a little talk, it's going to be a full-length class workshop, a masterclass. So I hope you can attend live. If you can't attend tomorrow, same time, same place, 10 o'clock, then I'm going to be doing it again live, a live encore on Saturday at 1 p.m. So you'll have a chance to hop in live to the workshop / masterclass where we're going to be talking about the next step in the painter's framework. All week long, we've been working on building that painting habit. That painting habit doesn't end the process of making amazing paintings. And that's what, at heart, we all want to do. We want to make amazing paintings. We want our paintings to be something we feel really good about and that we love. That is entirely possible. It doesn't happen, doesn't need to happen on a random basis. So be sure to tune in, put it on your calendar tomorrow for 10 o'clock when we're going to go live with our masterclass. And we're going to be talking about how to transform your paintings with composition, color, and light, the painter's framework. So I hope you can join me then. If not, then on Saturday at 1. So let me see if we have any questions here in the comments. So hang tight for just a second, and I'm going to pull that up here so that I'm not punching the button on my phone at the same time. And then I can make sure I answer any questions that you might have, because I definitely see some here in the comments. So, yay. Hey, Mary Catherine Edwards. I hope that you are dry there in North Carolina. Luckily, we are here in Columbia are pretty dry, but I know North Carolina and northeastern South Carolina are pretty wet right now. And Ginger Box, it's good to see you this morning. And Camille and Olivia. Becky, it's good to see you. Thank you. I love red too. Thanks a lot. And Jill, it's good to see you. Deepa, welcome. And yes, Jill, the masterclass is going to be recorded. It's going to be right here on Facebook, so it's really easy to access it. So, and I know you're on the challenge list, so that link will go out afterwards as well. So you'll be able to dive into it even if you can't get here live, or if you can only watch a part of it and then have to boogie off to work. So no worries on that. Excellent. So any other questions on rewards? Who's got an idea of what they're going to do already? Anybody have an idea of what they're going to buy, what they're going to get themselves, or what kind of language you're going to use with yourself going forward? Remember, done is better than perfect. We are only shooting this week for a 20 to 40 minute painting study, not a finished perfect painting, and that it's process over product. So we'll work on the product later, but for right now we are simply working on the process. getting in that habit. So if there are no other questions, I'm going to say go paint. Happy painting, everybody. Bye-bye for now.